And we are live here at Colburn Park for tonight's Pioneers game. Your Elmira Pioneers take the road against the Newark Pilots. Can the 9-11 Elmira Pioneers avoid a losing streak and get back in the win column against the Newark Pilots? They're 8-12, and a win for the Pilots would bring these teams level. But due to the system of tiebreakers, it's the most recent result that gives a team the advantage. A very excellent first pitch there. That was unfortunately blocked by the graphic. Means we'll now be ready to play ball after this second one. That one a bit outside. Just kidding. Strike two. And that will now let us begin here in Newark. Give you a quick rundown on defense for the Newark Pilots. On the mound, we've got Riley. He enters the game as the second best ERA for the Pilots. 1 start, 5 appearances, 12 innings, 15 strikeouts to just 10 walks. Boatman forms the battery alongside him. Meanwhile, Morgan, Espinal, Werner, and Martinez form the infield, while in the outfield we see Horwitz at left, Whitley at center, and Duffy in right. Now, your Pioneers' opening three will be Max Mandler, Frank Wayman, and Cooper Smith batting in the 3 spot. Coach Drum shaking up the order a little bit this time around, putting Cooper up and actually bringing Marsh further down the order. The Penn State commit struggling a little in the most recent games. Wonder if this change in the lineup and new venue might give him some life from his bat. It seems that Mandler has his best performances when the team struggles, and right now he's been hitting incredibly well. After a slow start where he was looking for a few games for his first hit, he has been on fire. He is hitting .290 with a .511 on-base percentage and .323 slugging. That gives him a team second place, .833 OPS. So a great start to the season for him. He's back at second base tonight, but we've seen him play all over the diamond throughout the course of the year. The warm-up is soon to conclude for Riley. The lefty will open it up. And actually, is it? I will have to double check. It is number 16, but that might just be a different jersey. Yes, it is. Yeah, I simply wrote down that wrong, saying it 26 instead of number 16. So Logan Riley will be on the mound. Top of the first, ready to go. Newark will be wearing white and navy numbers. Oh boy, gotta fix that. There we go. I forgot to lock the GoPro camera setting, so I actually dragged it. But Mandler and the Pioneers will be wearing the navy and white standard road uniforms with gray pants. So Mandler, the righty, he's going to get the first chance against Riley. And I will say, facing a lefty will certainly benefit the Pioneers. As a team, they're hitting .258 against lefties for the season. Mandler's first pitch, he sees high, gets away from Boatman, ball 1. So fun fact for Mandler, he actually needed to get some new shoelaces before the game. So I wonder if that foot situation solved will give him a strong bat in this at-bat. That one's going to be strike 1 taken. I will say this booth a little bit to the right of home plate here, but we do get a very nice range out into left field. Only difference is out in that right field corner, we might not see a few foul balls. But if the ball goes there, it's most likely foul. We've got coverage of the wall. The 1-1 swing and a miss from Mandler. Down 1-2 to Riley here. Well, to Mandler to try to battle back here. And again, we're at Colburn Park here in Newark for tonight's game. 1-2. That one's low, ball 2. Good take from Mandler. And we know that he likes to draw long at-bats. We know he can get on base. In fact, he leads the team with 12 walks, tied with Bobby Marsh. 2-2. That one's going to be popped up. It'll go foul and looks like out of play. I will say one good news, we've got a net in front of the camera, and even though there's that open section to the right, it's at an angle where there's no chance a ball would be able to bounce into the booth. It would have to take the mother of all ricochets. 2-2 here. Swing and a miss. Mandler fooled by the off speed. Down for the first out. Wayman will come up with one away. Tough swing and miss for Mandler. And a good off speed there. Now, Wayman, the top hitter for the Pioneers, comes up. And you might say, oh, what about that lefty-lefty split? Well, for Wayman, he really doesn't mind. He's hitting .538 against lefties. If anything, that platoon seems to be an advantage for him in 13 at-bats. First pitch, he's going to take that one low, ball one. And now we'll say, I've continued to say it, Wayman has really emerged as a top talent for the Pioneers. His bat has remained consistent. The team's DH tonight. Ooh, he's going to get on board after that one. Stays inside. Cooper Smith takes his first crack at it. He's got a runner aboard on first, one away. Mandler taking one for the team of that hit by pitch. He's aboard. And I will also add for Wayman, that'll improve his OBP. That's flirting around 500. Cooper Smith, he's hitting .304, the only other Pioneer to be over 300 this season. Cooper takes that one high, ball one. Pios has been relatively active on the base paths this season. In total, they've had 55 stolen bases, 7 times caught stealing. Wayman with 5, Cooper Smith with 6, although still yet to come up will be Joe Muzio, who's got 8 and leads the team. That one fouled back the net, protecting us there, a 1-1. Riley with runners on base, he's only given a 138 batting average to his opponents. And with a not as good hitting team as the Pios, that'll be an advantage for Riley and the Pilots. Cooper Smith, of course, a strong hitter though. He's been pushed up higher in the order. One's all on the board with the runner on first, a 1-1 count, and one away. And taken for strike two. That was a tough one. Now, Riley ahead of Cooper. I know Drum would want to see his guys try to get some offense going. They've been known as a late scoring team, but recently have had a couple runs in the early innings. Fouled away. And Wayman was running, but has to go back. As my colleague from Newark had mentioned, these teams have faced once, and Elmira took the victory back at Dunn Field. Last time, however, we saw a rematch on the road. It was the visiting team that took the defeat when the Pioneers took a loss to Geneva. They then lost again at Dunn Field last night. In fact, in that game, Geneva was able to overtake Jamestown for third in the standings. We'll show you those a little bit later. And this will be a big game for the Pios, as they could see some movement in the standings if they win or lose. 2-2 to Cooper Smith now, after that one was taken outside. That one's low. Wayman stays at first, but I have a feeling he's going to be running on this one. 3-2. Cooper Smith has worked the full count. On deck, Johnny Wall, who was resting last night. We saw Justin Hanley play, and he had some strong defense. Tougher night, unfortunately, at the plate. 3-2. Steps off, and Wayman is back safely. I'll say Wayman pretty disciplined in the base paths, hasn't really committed too many errors. Although we have seen occasional worrying signs from time to time for the Pios in the base path. Sometimes, however, they've also been strategic to get a man caught to bring a run home. And ball 4. Cooper Smith is able to work a walk, 2 free bases, but 2 aboard with 1 away. Johnny Wall steps up, 2 on, 1 away. And Johnny Wall, he's hitting .298. A hit would likely put him over the 300 margin. He's also got a .770 OPS as he's got a .404 slugging this season. That is second, only behind Frank Wayman. Swing and a miss from Wall, and he's going to be down in the count early. You already mentioned that Wall was resting last night for Justin Hanley. But you know, Wall has played against some pretty tough competition in the PGCBL, really holding his own against a member of the Israeli national team, Asaf Lowengar, who played for the Auburn Double Days earlier in the year. Both him and Lowengar put on some good defensive shows from third base, but Wall was more successful at the plate that night. So very good start for Johnny. And now he's got an 0-1, well, 1-1 here. That one was outside. Wayman and Cooper Smith didn't go. Infield playing a little closer, and Wall's head turns away on that inside pitch. I can't really tell whether it's just a larger infield dirt section or whether they are just playing a little more shallow in the infield. 2-1. That one's going to be driven deep to left field, and it's going to be a base hit and an RBI single. It was really tough, but it actually did take a bounce. I was wondering whether that was going to land for a catch, but nope. Takes a high bounce, picked up, and Johnny Wall gets an RBI single, advancing Cooper Smith to third, scoring Wayman from second. The Pios, with 1 away, take a 1-0 lead. That's the start the Pios needed. And again, I will warn you, we will see some drops, I think, coming from time to time. It's supposed to be a somewhat wet night, but hopefully the system that is passing by will stay away. Muzio will get a chance here. The reason I said that was I thought I felt a drop in the booth. Swing and miss for Muzio, strike 1. Muzio this year, he's hitting .421 against lefties. So even though he's a lefty hitter, he goes very much against the platoon, which is honestly a very interesting fact. Pickoff attempt. He is back and safe. But a good play there from Johnny Wall before. For Wall, that was his 7th RBI. That one's going to be grounded over to second. They can't turn 2, so that brings home a run. But Muzio will get an RBI on that sacrifice out.
Runner at second. Brings up the shortstop, number 21, Lucas Phelps.
2-0 lead for your Pioneers. That advances Wall to second. So Muzio does the job to get a good ball in play. That's always a double play ball, potentially. Luckily for the Pios, too hard to turn 2 there. And I do apologize if the audio is a little bit of an echo. You might be hearing my fellow commentator over to the left-hand side. 1-0. Yeah, I can actually confirm that is definitely just my colleague on the other side of the room. But that's just how the booth is set up. That 1-0 is going to land nicely in the zone, a good breaking ball. And that gets Phelps looking for strike 1. I'll switch over to this microphone setting for the rest of the inning and see how much that helps. Maybe I'll run a poll in chat and see whether you like the crowd sounds more as well. 1-1 here to Phelps. That one's going to be lined into the outfield for a base hit. That will likely score Wall. The throw in from center field. Not in time. Phelps turns 2, and he is safe.
Runner scores and a runner on second brings up the left fielder, number 25, Bobby Mark.
3 RBIs in a row for the Pios offense. And with that, Lucas Phelps is able to get an RBI double. Not sure if it'll be graded as a fielder's choice single or not, but either way, brings home a run. Pios lead by 3. They're getting a good start. Got to feel bad for Logan Riley. Just a couple well-timed hits and runners in a dangerous position. Now can Bobby Marsh get his bat back up to life? He's got a runner on second that'll be running. 2 away here. And I do see where that echo could be coming from on the audio settings. So I might just have to shift to noise gate for the rest of the game. But either way, 2 away. First pitch to Marsh. That one's outside, ball 1. One thing I will add, though, is Bobby Marsh is a player who has struggled somewhat with facing left-handed hitters. Actually does a little bit better against lefties and righties. But he's hitting .278 against lefties for most of the season. That was actually lower than his right-handed batting average, or right-handed pitcher batting average. Runner goes to third, fouled away. Count 1-1. I have a feeling that Phelps would have gotten to third in time. Ultimately, go back to second after that foul ball. Again, thank you for tuning in for tonight's game. Looks like the rain will stay clear, which is good, but the only difficulty might be the bus ride home. Could have a slippery road as the boys will do some bus mafia. 1-1. Marsh takes that one, and it is inside, 2-1. We've had a couple umpires with a very inside established zone for left-handed batters. And Lucini, he's not playing tonight, but for Muzio, Wayman, and Marsh, I know they'll like that. It's not looking like that right now. Gil Murad on deck. He's also got his catcher gear on in case he needs to play defense first. 2-1 to Marsh. Swing and a miss. Marsh 2-2. I'll say for Marsh this season, leads the team in strikeouts, but he's also a dangerous hitter. He's got the second most bases, only behind Wayman. Low, and that time Phelps just staying at 2. Looked like he was ready to go. But Marsh now works that count full. So can Marsh keep the inning alive and bring up Gil Murad? We know Gil Murad had a pretty solid night in his previous one. 1 for 1 with 3 walks. Marsh is going to drive that one to the outfield. Will it get down? Yes, it will. Phelps is going to stroll home, an RBI single for Bobby Marsh.
So with a single and a run scoring brings up the catcher, number 6, Gil Murad.
Gil Murad with 2 away. It is a 4-0 lead for your Elmira Pioneers. And that is the start the Pioneers lead after some quiet days. The pitching coach is just going to come out and I think just settle Riley down. Just say, hey, listen, get out of this inning. You've got a long game ahead. And honestly, just some unlucky balls. We've seen that happen to a few of the Pios pitchers before. Pitching for Newark hasn't been the best this season, but Riley has been one of the best in their pitching staff. This is certainly not one of his standard nights, but he's got time to recover. We've seen pitchers like Champa, who's starting tonight for the Pioneers, take some rough bumps. The Pioneers are trailing 6-0 in Niagara last Sunday on the toughest night of the year for Champa, but the Pios were able to battle through. That's why you can never say it's over until it's over, but I know Coach Drum will be absolutely loving the 4 runs to open up the first inning here. That'll bring up Gil Murad with 2 away and a runner aboard. First pitch for Gil. High, ball 1. I talked with Gil after the victory the Pioneers had at Dunn Field a few nights ago that concluded their 3-game winning streak. And what Gil had told me was at the plate, he had been working on just regaining confidence. He had an injury not too long ago, and for most of the 2022 spring season, he was just struggling to really get back into the rhythm. But now, he feels like he has, and he said he got his first true barrel to the bat in that previous game. He'll be looking for one in this plate appearance. He also has gotten ahead 2-1. Murad has also been a very good defensive arm for the Pios. A couple not perfect throws, but you can always mention defense plays a little factor in those plays too. But he's also caught his fair share of runners stealing. 2-1 now for Murad. Murad fouls that one back. It's 2-2 here in the top of the first. Chance for Riley to get out of the inning. Murad would like to try to get Marsh moving. I have a feeling he could be running on this next pitch. 2-2. That one's taken low. Good take there from Murad, not falling for the bait pitch. Marsh at first. He's 100% running this time around, although he does have to be careful. Riley could always run a pickoff throw. He's a lefty, and he's facing first base. That gives him that advantage. 3-2. Marsh goes. That one gets low, and Gil Murad works a walk.
So with 2 on, that brings up the extra hitter, number 44, J9 Vaughn.
J9 Vaughn will step up with 2 away. And J9 Vaughn makes his return to the lineup in a PGCBL game. He's mainly played in a couple of the interleague games from time to time, but they're going to put his bat up to the test here. Can he get an RBI? I know we'd love to see it. He's going to take that one. It gets away, so Marsh is going to stroll over to third. Gil Murad gets over to second. 1-0 count now for J9 Vaughn. He's got 2 runners in scoring position with 2 away. He's hitting 200 in the season in 4 games started, 6 appearances, and 15 at-bats. That one's strike 1. I will say for the Pioneers last night, they were rolling snake eyes at the plate. They were barely able to get any offense past Smith as he had a really solid 3 innings of relief. Tipped away, so it's a 1-2 count now. But so far, the Pios, they've been shooting the craps, and they have been running 6s and 6s and 6s. And can J9 Vaughn get some luck here? He's got the 1-2 now against Riley. Swing and a miss. He's fooled by the breaking ball. Second strikeout for Riley. But the Pios score 4 on 3 hits. No errors. 2 will get stranded. That'll be the first inning. We'll be right back. Bottom of the first. Coming right back up, where we'll see Ciampa make a return to the mound. We're back here in the bottom of the first. I will apologize for having the graphics not perfectly ready. Now they are. But now Werner will lead off for the Pilots. Big first inning for the Pioneers. Pilots will want to respond. Be easier said than done. One of the aces of the Pioneers rotation, Tristan Champa, returns to the mound. That one's high, ball one. Champa's last outing came when we weren't able to stream in Niagara, and he conceded 6 in 5 innings. It was ultimately one of his tougher nights of the season, but so far, Champa has been a consistently strong member of the Pioneers rotation. 3.91 ERA, 28 strikeouts, just 10 walks. Oof, that one was a little inside. Werner, he needed to play limbo on that pitch, and he did. Two one. That one's going to be sent foul. Count will go 2-2. Like I mentioned, that is a little bit of a blind section on that right side of the field. So any foul balls or stuff, I'll have to stand up and try to lean over to see. Now I'll have to see the 2-2 to Werner. That one's going to be driven deep to center field, but that's going to be a catch for Odom for the first out.
Up next from Warnick, New Jersey, the right fielder, number 14, Alex Duffy.
So, one away. Let's take you through the Pioneers' defense. Tristan Champa and Gil Murad form the battery. Johnny Wall at third, Lucas Phelps at second, or short, Max Mandler at second, and Joe Muzio at first. Bobby Marsh in left, Zach Odom in center, and Cooper Smith in right field. Wayman and Vaughn are the DH and EH. First pitch, a little bit high, ball one. One-0 here in the bottom of the first. That one's high, ball two. So Champa getting a little bit behind here against Duffy. Duffy hasn't played too much this season. Still looking to get things going offensively. That one's going to be grounded over to third. And that'll be out for out number 2. Very close play and a good job to try to run it out.
Center fielder, number 15, Aaron Whitley.
Whitley up now, a 2 away. 28 strikeouts this season for Champa. I told him, hey, you're in the strikeout race. Has that influenced your pitching at all? And he says, frankly, I do not care. He just wants to help the team win, and that's the type of guy you'll love to have. Someone who puts the team first. And you can see that right here, forcing weak contact and getting 2 early outs. But you also know he's got that stuff whenever he needs to pull it out. 1-0 count here. Whitley up. A pretty active batting group here in Newark. 2-0 count now. They actually have a pretty big point differential in average to the Pioneers. Pioneers, they're just hitting 213. The Pilots hitting 292. But the difference is in the pitching staff. A 6.57 ERA for the Pilots, 5.74 for the Pioneers. Although I will say, that one's going to be driven from Whitley to center, actually center right field. But Odom gets under it for the final out of the inning. 1-2-3, Champa settles the first 3 batters. Top of the second, right after this, more Pioneers baseball coming up.
Up first, the center fielder, number 15, Zach Odom.
Odom, the number 10 hitter for the Pioneers, gets his first chance at the plate tonight. You saw him pretty active in tracking down some fly balls in the bottom half. And now we'll lead off in the top half of the second. And again, thank you for tuning in to this PGCBL game tonight between the Pioneers and the Newark Pilots. I'm glad that we can have you all on the road. And a reminder, for any reason, if the stream goes down, the ball kills the camera, the Wi-Fi dies, these games are still recorded and will be accessible on YouTube after the game is done. 2-0 here to Odom. Swing and a miss, 2-1. It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And that's what I think Newark's coach will have told Riley, just to settle down and see if he can keep things quiet and give Newark's chance to try to get back into this game. Swing and a miss, 2-2. And he's already ahead of Odom. Say Odom getting another chance in the starting lineup. He actually pinch hit for Bobby Marsh as a defensive substitution in the previous game. He's hitting .208 this season, which is only barely below the team average. Odom's going to line that one for a base hit. Really well down the third base line. He'll turn one and ultimately take a standing double to lead off the inning.
Runner on second, we go back to the top of the order. The second baseman, number 23, Max Mandler.
Mandler gets a runner on second with one away. And I will say, Mandler's the type of guy who can drop a bunt from time to time. He's good at it. He's really a 10-tool player. He can play in the field really well. He can hit really well. I wouldn't want him pitching, though. Maybe that is his one weakness. But Mandler, still a very consistent player. And I do have a feeling Coach will just look to manufacture a run, try to keep this offense bringing runs home. Mandler takes ball one a bit inside. Now, the 1-0 to Mandler. Strike one on that high inside corner. That time it did get the zone. But we know Mandler, he likes to work longer counts. He's not the type of guy who's going to swing early most often. He's going to wait and find a pitch he likes. It's a good trait to have. And also, will keep putting pitches past the starter. That one's going to be driven, but foul. Deep right field. 1-2 to Mandler. He had struck out back in the first inning, looking to avoid the same fate here. We're here at Colburn Park. A nice night. The lights are shining because it's cloudy, but the sun will eventually fully set. Only 7:37 p.m. 81 degrees. Mandler gets under that one. Should be out number one. Werner calls it off. The shortstop comes and gets out number one.
Up next, the DH, number 33, Frank Wayman.
So like I said, what was true, good nights for the Pioneers don't always contribute to the best Mandler nights. Bad nights for the Pioneers sometimes do. That's a very unlucky curse to have for Mandler. But Wayman had a good start. He got hit by a pitch and then would later score. One away here for the Pioneers. They've got Wayman and a runner in scoring position. And I will say Odom is definitely a guy who can make it from second to home with not a lot of difficulty, should Wayman put it far enough. Well, no. And strike one, taken on that outside corner. We have, of course, a lefty. Getting hit by that pitch before might motivate him to try to have a stronger at-bat here. Takes that one low, 2-1, but Odom stays at 2. Two one here, one away. And by the way, thank you to C-Tran for being this inning's sponsor. That one's going to be grounded hard to second. Werner picks it up and gets a throw for the second out of the inning. Odom gets to third. That'll bring up Cooper Smith, the 2 away. Once again, thank you to C-Tran for accessible transit in the Chemung County. C-Tran should be your top choice. Learn more about them online. Thank you again for C-Tran being a huge sponsor of the Elmira Pioneers. Cooper Smith at the plate. Steve Smith, his father, he's at the plate tonight over by the Pios bullpen. I know he's excited to see Cooper in action in the 3 spot. That one's inside, ball 1. Cooper drew a walk in his first at-bat and would later score as part of that big first inning from the Elmira Pioneers. 1-0. That one's inside, but on the corners, strike 1. Tough one there, but good job to paint it by Riley. And you will say, after a tough first inning, it's important to settle down. And I will say, Riley's done that. He's forced 2 quick outs after that well-hit double from Phelps. That one's outside, ball 2. And I will say, Bowman behind the plate. He looked a little disappointed. He wanted to try to frame that as another Mona Lisa. Now 2-1. Swing and a miss. That breaker absolutely fooling Smith. Pios down to their last strike in the inning. They've got a lead, but they don't want to strand Phelps at third. They'd love to bring him home. 2-2. Foul back. He stays alive. Four hits for the Pioneers and 4 runs. Meanwhile, the rest of the board is filled with zeros. No errors for either team. And Newark didn't get a run or hit back in the first inning. That one's going to be grounded very short to third. The throw to first is in time, and they will get out of the inning. 1 hit, 1 runner stranded. Pioneers still lead. Bottom of the second coming up right after this. Fernando Espinal leads off for Newark. Yep. Espinal doing well. And the PA guy, Jeff, alongside me in the booth. He and Espinal have a great connection. As he says, Espinal, and Espinal, he gave a tip of the cap. Wonder if that'll give him some luck here against Champa. Ooh, well, maybe he gave him a little luck on that pitch. 1-0. Espinal, he's the shortstop for Newark. And he's going to be Champa's first opponent this half of the inning. That one's high, ball 2. Ciampa looking to settle in here. He got 3 outs in the first inning. That's his job, just get 3 outs and keep this game moving. That one just outside, ball 3. Good take from Espinal, not going too early in this at-bat. Espinal has a 404 average this season in 14 games started and 18 in total. He carries a 951 OPS. But that one's strike 1. He won't get on base just yet. 3-1 here for Espinal. And strike 2. Espinal thought that was ball 4. Partially from that looking like delayed reaction from home plate. Full count for Ciampa. And this is a tough pitch for both. Do you swing? Do you throw a strike? Do you throw a ball? Even if it's a low stake at bat, that's always a crazy mind game. That one's going to be popped up. I think that is playable in right field. No, it is not. Foul. During that talk with Gil, he said that baseball is just truly a mental game. You got to be mentally focused. And you know, tonight, it looks like the Pios are focused. Espinal, he's worked this long count. I know he's going to be focused too. Payoff pitch. Ciampa from the stretch. And low, ball 4.
So with Fernando on first, that brings up from Queens, New York, our first baseman, number 24, Hazel Martinez.
Martinez now with a runner aboard. The first base runner is now on for Newark. And by the way, this inning sponsor for your Elmira Pioneers, Salen's Hot Dogs, the official hot dog provider for your Pioneers. Now, no one out, runner on. Ciampa looking to get something going here. That one's outside, ball 1. Let's say some good discipline early from Newark. Although, what's an interesting stat, they're only 8 points higher in OPS with 370 or on-base percentage. As the runner goes, throw from Gill. Very fast, and it gets in behind. Although, Mandler there to pick it up as it gets by Phelps. Espinal with the stolen base. Runner in scoring position, 2-0 count. And I will say for Ciampa, he doesn't seem too phased with runners on bases. That's unlike some other pitchers that, you know, that can always get into your head. Ciampa, he's the type of guy who just likes to go out there and throw strikes. That one going high, though, 3-0. So a little bit more sluggish against this half of the order. Newark really not chasing strikes at all. They've been very conservative, and they've been able to get ahead. Given on deck, he's the extra hitter. He could have 2 runners aboard. Depending on how this pitch goes. That one low, ball 4.
So with 2 on, that brings up from Boulder, Colorado, the extra hitter, number 11, Jay Given.
Given steps up. And Drum's just going to go out and talk with Ciampa really quickly. And I will notice we've actually seen Drum recently having these just quick chats alongside instead of the others. In fact, he actually brings in the entire infield as Muzio was hanging around for a second. I think he just wants to tell him to focus up, don't get complacent. It's a 4-run lead, but they know how quickly it can evaporate. The Pios have had some big innings late and early from time to time. There's Gil, I think, assuring Ciampa. There's Lucas doing the same. There's Joe. He's probably telling Ciampa he's the man, knowing Joe. And of course, you get 2 meetings, and then you got to pull the guy. But here's Ciampa. He's got that runner on. Given at the plate, 1 run would help turn this game into the Pios' favor. That one taken for strike 1. Unsurprisingly, Given just looking to advance the runners with a bunt. And I will say, Given He'll probably just be a sacrifice player here. Hasn't actually attempted a stolen base yet. That's usually a good case where you can tell someone is very fast. But again, it always isn't. Picked up by Gill. He's going to hold as a runner gets to third. The other runner stays at first. Runners at the corners. Espinal at first. Third. Espinal at third. Martinez at first. Given at the plate. 1-1. That one's going to be fouled away. 1-2 count. I think that's actually the first time we've seen 2 strikes in a count, apart from that full count. And indeed, Robbins Champa. He's on the mound tonight. He's got a little jam to work with no one out. But we know Champa can definitely get out of this jam. That one picked up by Gill. He holds on to it. 2-2. And Gil Murad, he's not been a world beater offensively, but defensively, he's been very solid. Doesn't allow too many wild pitches, and he's got a good cannon of an arm, and he's been able to get a lot of runners that would be base stealers. 2-2. Inside, oof, 3-2. I will say Champa just needs to settle in this inning, and something he's struggling so far with. And swing and a miss. Champa gets his first strikeout of the game.
Waldwood, New Jersey. The third baseman, number 9, Morgan.
And that is a big strikeout there for Champa. That helps him out. It opens up a double play opportunity to end the inning. And that means that defense won't have to play so deep in the infield, try to cover off the runner at third. Got some good defenders in the infield. I know they'd like to turn 2 and get out of this. First pitch taken, strike 1. And that strikeout could be all Champa needed to get back into it. He's a fighter. He will take the beatings just like Tommaso Ciampa, the famed wrestler. What can Tristan do? That one's inside, ball 1. Tristan, another one of the Necco boys, as they're called. People from Northern Essex Community College. There's a good chunk of Pioneers players that come from there. And as Coach Drum mentioned, Champa has to do it.
As it looks like there's already going to be a pinch hitter for the Pilots. It looks like it'll be Matt Fabian on deck for the Pilots. From Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
And ball 2. So I've just also got word, Fabian is on deck. So an interesting pinch hit opportunity early on. I think that shows that the Pilots are going to want to try to convert in this position. The 2-2, and got him looking for the second out of the inning.
Up next, the left fielder, number 25, Matt Fabian from Toronto and Canada.
Fabian comes on as a pinch hitter here with 2 away. And I have a feeling eventually they're going to send Martinez. But if you're Gil Murad, you just got to hold on to it. He's got a cannon. He can try to beat it. But again, a run comes home if it doesn't. That's why it's always safest just to hold it, let him steal that base, and then just get the out. And Champa can get the out. First pitch. Strike 1, a bit of heat that time. This season, Fabian, he's had 6 hits, and he's got a 304 on-base percentage. So he can definitely get on base from time to time, too. They might be hoping to get bases loaded. Gordon is on deck. In fact, Fabian's actually coming for Hurwitz. That one's going to be driven to left field, but Bobby Marsh gets the play and gets out of the jam. Tristan Champa, he deals with 2 runners and strands them both. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 left the board. Thank you again to Salins. Top of the 3rd right after this. Johnny Wall leads off for the Pioneers here in the top of the third. Wall had the first hit for the Pios and brought home an RBI. In doing so, he's now got the bases empty, but a chance to continue a strong day. He was rested last night against Geneva, but I know he's excited to be back in the lineup tonight. I believe Coach Drum is over at the third base line. You can tell by the neon on his shoes, by the way. 0-1 swing and a miss from Wall. And after that tough first inning, Riley's really started to settle down. He retired 3 straight outs after conceding an opening double from Zach Odom. 0-2 here. And outside, ball 1. 1-2, no one out. Wall looking to keep alive in the at-bat. And he will, as that one just goes a bit too low. There is a little activity in the Pioneers bullpen, Pilots bullpen. And you do have to wonder how tight the leash will be for Riley. I know that they'd like to get him to go longer. And just a few innings, Wall's going to get under that. But it should be the first out of the inning. It is. 1 away. Muzio up. And if they do make a change, they're certainly not going to do it against Muzio because he is a lefty. Although just don't tell them that Muzio works better against lefties than righties. Muzio grounded out to short second last time, but in doing so, he brought a runner home from third. So it was succeeding on a failure. Oh, and that time he's going to get hit. Oof. I think that nearly got him in the head. That is disappointing for Joe. I know it hit him in the hand. That is not good. And I will tell you, Muzio is one of the most upbeat and positive guys. For him to grimace like that, that is not good. He's probably jammed up his finger. But he's also a trooper. He's going to get to first on his own power. But ouch. Hopefully Muzio all good. Runner on, 1 away. Phelps has got a chance with Muzio on first. Muzio, I believe, getting that checked up with Brian Joe. He gets a hand on the back. Or not a hand on the back, but a chat over with Martinez, the first baseman for Newark. And you know Muzio, he's a pretty chatty guy. One away. Here's Phelps. Low, ball 1. See some signs from Drum. And you do wonder whether Muzio will go or not. He has been a bit of a Ricky Henderson type player. Maybe not with that outlandish speed, but he's been active on the base path. Always has to be worried with a lefty. That one's going to be driven to the outfield. Tracking back in center field. Making the catch at the warning track. Deep in center field is Whitley. 2 away. Muzio will be back at first. Marsh is now up. This inning sponsor for the Pioneers, Multimedia Services Business Printers. They provide the signage for the Pioneers at Dunn Field. Thanks again to Multimedia Services. Now, runner on, 2 away. Can Marsh bring Muzio home? That'll be tough. But I will say, Marsh did get an RBI in his previous at-bat, and it was great to get him out of that little slump he had entering the game. I know for one thing for Marsh, he's going to want to just get back into the rhythm. We know how good he is. We know how talented of a hitter Bobby Marsh is. He's had a mix of bad BABIP luck and unfortunate bats. Had a good start back in the first inning, and does have that runner on first to work with. That one's low, ball 2. He is able to get ahead. Top of the third here. Only now is it 8 p.m., so I will say, slightly faster moving game after that pretty long first inning thanks to the Pios offense blowing up. And low, ball 3. So Bobby Marsh, he's got himself ahead here. Marsh is the type of player who also will generate some offense thanks to getting on base for some free bases. In fact, this season he's got 12 walks, 2 up by pitches, make that 13 walks as Muzio makes it safely to second on the steal either way.
So with 2 on, it brings up the catcher, number 6, Gil Morad.
That steal meaningless, as that would have been a free base no matter what. Here's Gil Morad. He drew a walk in his first at-bat, and he's got some pop behind his bat when he gets that ball right. That's the type of hit that could bring home Bobby Marsh. And I will say that, I was going to say it looked like the field was shifted, but no, indeed, that's just this camera angle. That is what's shifted. 2 away here for Gil Morad. Inside, strike 1 on that inside corner. 0-1 here. Muzio goes. Fouled away. 0-2. Count here for Murad. That's a well-executed double steal, but fouled away. I have a feeling runners will go this time again. No, they don't. He steps off, and he is safe. Two away here at Colbert Park. By the way, there are supposed to be fireworks after this game. Brought to you by CSEA. That one's low, gets away. That will let both runners advance. 1-2, runners at second and third. I know Gil Morad won't mind that. Here in the top of the third, 1-2 to Murad. Murad's going to get under that one. Very far under it, though. It's in foul territory, and oof. Saw a few of the people having to slide out of the way, and a good attempt there by Boatman, not able to come up with the catch. 1-2 after that foul ball. So 1-2, one more time. Elmira, Newark. Elmira currently has a lead, but I know that Drum wouldn't mind if it got expanded. 1-2 to Gil Murad. Murad's going to chop that over to third. Picked up the throw on target. That'll end the inning. Pioneers strand 2 again. On no hits, no errors, with no one scoring. Bottom of the third coming up next. Pios still lead 4-0. Last night, the Pioneers took an 11-5 loss against the Geneva Red Wings. Surge took his second victory of the season. Kendall took a second loss. Wayman had a solid night, 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Trotta had a big night. Even though he didn't bring home an RBI, he had 2 very strong doubles. It was a big hitting day for the Red Wings. Tonight, a stronger hitting day for the Pios. That first pitch taken, strike 1. It was a slower game yesterday for the Pioneers. It took them a little while to get some offense going, but here they got some offense early. And meanwhile, the pitching for Champa has been solid as well. Struggled at first with 2 leadoff walks, and then sat down the sign in order with 2 strikeouts. And 1-2 with some heat there in the zone. And I do hope that a few Champa's friends come back to the stream tonight. 1-2. Tristan gets the sign he likes after shaking off the previous one. That one's outside. But again, good discipline from Boatman to open this at bat. Fun fact for Boatman, he actually has only had 1 free base all year. This won't be a free base. He won't be able to earn it on the base path either. It's grounded right to Champa for the first out.
Norwalk, Connecticut. Designated hitter. Number 2. Kyle Gordon.
Kyle Gordon for the Pilots of Central Connecticut State University, Division I in the NEC, as they are actually divisional foes.
Kyle Gordon steps up to the plate.
Next batter, TJ Werner.
He's the bottom of the order for Newark.
College rivalries face each other here in the BCC.
Looking to get some offense going for Newark. They got 2 runners on in the previous inning, but weren't able to score either. And by the way, thank you to Papa John's for being this inning's sponsor of your Elmira Pioneers. Whenever you visit Dunn Field, you can get yourself a slice of Papa John's. Now, how cool is that? 0-1 here. Tipped and fouled, 0-2.
Head coach Alex Barbeau will field that one. That'll move the count to 0-2.
We see Wall at third. He's ready. Phelps at short. Mandler at second. Muzio at first. It's an active infield. 0-2. But they won't need to do it this time. All that he needs to do is just tag him.
Up next,
And with that,
top of the order.
it is a third strikeout
The
for
second
Tristan
baseman,
Champa.
number 8. TJ Werner.
Bring up TJ Werner with 2 outs quickly here in the bottom of the 3rd.
TJ Werner up with 2 away. And by the way, that was the 3rd strikeout of the game for Champa. By now, he has surpassed the 30 strikeout milestone this season.
Right side of the batter's box. 0 for 1 here tonight. Flew out to center field.
Not only leads the Pioneers in strikeouts, he's challenging for the PGCBL lead in the category. He says he doesn't care for that lead. He just likes to get people out, and so far, he's done just that. Only 2 runners given up back in the 2nd. He's 2 strikes away from a very quick bottom of the 3rd. That one's going to be driven deep to center. And making a running catch is Zach Odom. Great speed from Odom. And the Pios will once again retire the Pilots in order. So with that, it's still a 4-0 lead for the Pioneers entering the top of the 4th. Due up for the Pios. Vaughn, Odom, and Mandler. More Pios baseball right after this. The Pios return to Elmira on July 4th weekend for some interleague fun. Make sure you head out to Dunfield for the festivities. June 3rd, we've got some... Why did I say June 3rd? It's July. July 3rd, we've got some fireworks. Make sure you don't miss it. So we're back here at Colburn Park.
Number 44. Johnny Vaughn.
J.N.I. Vaughn leading off for the Elmira Pioneers. Struck out in his first at-bat. He's got a chance to try to turn it around, though. That one's low, ball one. One 0 here to Vaughn. Vaughn takes that one, and it's low. Even though the umpire shot quickly back up, he didn't follow it up with that hand motion. Ball three. So Vaughn, he's able to get really far ahead in this at bat. Now the question is he going to go or not? And ball four. Vaughn gets on base, drawing the walk to start out this inning. And I will say it's the first time since the second inning that we haven't seen that leadoff Pios batter go down. That could be a good sign for the Pioneers, looking to get some offense going here. Oh, and by the way, this inning sponsor, Demet's Candy Company. Thank you so much to Demet's for being able to sponsor the Pioneers. Vaughn on first. That's going to bring up Zach Odom. Now, we saw Odom showing his speed to full effect, getting a really deep ball to warning track to end the third inning. That one's low. Ooh, wow. That was definitely not intentional. We saw O'Reilly just mess up on that pitch there. And, oof. That's just where it slips out of your arm the exact wrong way. Hits into Odom. And I will say that's actually the third hit by pitch of the day, but just a very weird bounce. I've never seen a ball bounce before hitting a batter. That should definitely tell you that he's not trying to Bakugan or Beyblade the ball into hitting the batter. That's just one where he completely let it slip, which is a shame. And Bowman, I think he's just looking to settle him down here because, again, it's a stressful mound. It's one of the loneliest places on the diamond when things aren't going perfectly. 2 aboard. Max Mandler, top of the order, back up. Mandler 0 for 2 today. But again, you could definitely say he's due. No one out. 2-1. That one nearly gets away from Bowman, but it won't. 1-0 here. I will say one thing. The Pioneers have not seen a strike this inning. They haven't swung and missed or taken one for one. Vaughn got on with 4 pitches. There was a hit by pitch to lead off to Odom. And now that first pitch is taken by a ball to Mandler. That one's going to be lined up for a base hit. Bases will be loaded. Vaughn, he's actually going to be sent home. And they actually can't even find the ball in the outfield. 2 runs will score. They barely get it now. They're going to send him home. Plate to plate. Will it be? It's an inside the park home run. Max Mandler, you are the man. First home run for the Pioneers. As Mickey Mouse, as the circumstances may be, they bring home 3. You know what, I will say, that might be counted as an error. I might be speaking very much too soon. But it's a 7-0 lead now for the Pios. The scoreline doesn't matter. What matters is, if that stands in the book as the 5th hit of the night, it will be an inside the park shot or maybe just an error in the outfield.
Unfortunately, not to break the other broadcasters' happiness over there, it will be an E9.
And it will be graded as an E9. So, Mandler will get that single. But like we saw in that game where Gil Murad's errant throw had a bases loaded situation turn into an impromptu grand slam, it is now a 7-0 lead for the Pioneers. Oh, man. Good base running there by Mandler to make it all the way around. Oh, man. I definitely got way too excited there. Even on negative 13 decibels in the mic setting, I definitely clipped the mic quite a bit. Base is now empty off of that bases clearing quotation mark errant single. That first pitch is going to be taken for ball one. Now up Frank Wayman. 7 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. They finally get something on the board for Newark. That one's going to be now driven deep to right field. And that one's off the top of the wall. It will be a double. And that one, after we nearly had that clearing home run, which, of course, does have to count as an error, no actual home run, Wayman gets a double. Wow, I was barely getting over the excitement of the previous at-bat. Wayman drives that one deep. And that'll be the – nope, it won't be the day, I think, yet for Riley. Or will it? You haven't seen the coach take the ball yet. But, yes, they see the man coming in from the bullpen. Riley's day will be done.
It'll be Quinn Ignazak from St. John Fisher College to relieve Logan Riley. We'll be right back.
Runner on second, 7-run lead. And Pioneers have had another strong start to this inning. That'll bring up Cooper Smith. We'll be back in just 1 second. We'll still be showing the game feed, but we'll let him warm up.
What number is that?
8, Cooper Smith.
What was the score? They hit a home run.
He's hit a home run.
Inside Park.
Now pitching for the Pilots from Brockport, New York, number 36, Quinn Ignazak.
And
I heard him yell when they scored a home run.
I heard somebody yell home run.
yeah,
I'm assuming it was probably him.
he heard you know.
Ignazak, he's going to now come into the game for Riley. He's got a runner on second, no one out. His job now, face off against Cooper Smith, first pitch. And strike 2, so actually, he was very quick into getting into it. 0-2 here to Cooper Smith. Not sure if we even actually caught that first pitch. 0-2 to Smith. He's got Wayman in scoring position. Wayman's going to ground that one, and it's grabbed. What a throw to first, but not in time. I will say that's a very good attempt there at second base, though,
Nice try, TJ.
but just a tough play. Warner not able to get it. Runners at the corners. Cooper Smith gets his first hit of the game. He's now 1 for 2 with a walk. That's going to bring up Johnny Wall with a runner in scoring position and a runner on first. Might be seeing me, hearing me drink a slushie. That's because my voice kind of got killed on that one call there. Now, first pitch taken, strike 1. Ignazak, he has a 12.86 ERA this season, but he's mainly played mop-up innings, 7 of them all year. He's just going to be tasked with getting through a few innings. That one lined up the middle, base hit, 1 run scores. Cooper Smith is actually going to take it and go to third. He will be safe. Runners back at the corners. It is now an 8-0 lead for the Pioneers.
So with runners on the corners, it brings up the first baseman, number 51, Joe Muzio.
Muzio now up with 2 again in scoring position. He grounded out but got a run batted in his first at-bat and later was hit by a pitch in his second. With an 8-0 lead, I know that all Newark wants is just their pitcher to just get through these innings. They'll let Ignazak go and do whatever he needs to. Only if he's completely drowning out there would they ever think about pulling him out. It's a huge lead for the Pioneers, and I think exactly what the doctor ordered after 2 tough nights in a row. Strike 1. After tonight's game, the Pioneers will be taking a small break over the July 4th weekend. They won't have any PGCBL games until the 5th, but join us on the 3rd and 4th for 2 interleague games. That one fouled away, 1-2. As you've seen, those interleague games can definitely give some fun competition. So make sure you stay tuned. Although for the 2nd, that will be a day off. Feel free to watch anything else that night. You don't have to come back here. 1-2. That one's going to be grounded up the middle. This time they get 1, and they do get 2. So even though it is a double play, Muzio will get a 2nd RBI of the game.
Nice double play, guys.
That'll empty the bases, brings Cooper Smith home. 2 away now in the top of the 4th, and it is a 9-0 lead for the Pioneers. And if Champa can continue to stay strong, he would be able to stay in. I do have a feeling we'll see someone like an Ethan Buckley or another long reliever eventually come in if they want to. Bases empty. 2 away, 9-0 lead. Strike 1 taken. Now up, of course, Lucas Phelps. Phelps, 1 for 2 with an RBI double. Well, that one's going to be driven deep to the outfield. Will it get to the warning track? No, he's made the catch running to the wall. That'll end the inning. Pioneers are able to get 4 hits, 5 runs. 1 error, though, was able to bring in a few of those. No one was left on base. That'll be the Pioneers' top of the 4th inning. Bottom of the 4th up next, Champa still on fire. So Duffy leads off for the Pilots. By the way, this is a quick peek at the standings. A win here could bring the Pioneers to 10-11 and just a little bit behind the Tarp Skunks. Newark would continue to be low in the division. They'd still be ahead of the Niagara Power, though. First pitch here to Duffy. I'm actually going to be honest, I thought Duffy was the last batter in the previous inning. So, oh, nope, I got it. Gordon was up, and Werner ended the inning with a flyout. So that's an error on the broadcaster there. Duffy, 1-1 today. Here's Duffy now. 1-1 against Champa. That one's going to be driven deep to the outfield. Odom under it. And that is out number 1. So Niagara is getting some... Jeez, I really confused Newark for Niagara. I'm kind of like last night's Geneva Red Wings with a couple of errors. One away here on that flyout deep to center field. Tonight, not many errors, only that one play from Newark where just wasn't fielded cleanly enough and let Max Mandler take the full 360 feet trip. Now up, Whitley. He's going to take strike 1. But Champa, after conceding those runs against the Niagara Power in his previous start, he is back to his dominant ways. That one's outside, 1-1. We had a pretty quick first 3 innings, but then the 4th inning went a little longer thanks to the Pios offense being pretty active. That one's going to be flared out under it Phelps, and he'll get that pop out for the 2nd out.
Up next from Brooklyn, New York, the shortstop, number 7, Fernando Espinal.
Fernando Espinal back up at the plate with 2 away. And once again, Jeff on the call for Espinal. Let's see if Espinal can get this offense going for Newark. I know Newark will want to try to keep this close, try to keep some signs of life. Here at Colburn Park. Relatively quiet fan base tonight. Not too many fans out here, but still braving the questionable conditions to make it. 1-0. Oh, and by the way, forgot to change our sponsor. Thanks again to Demet's Candy Company. But this inning sponsor is Vasco Brands. By the way, Vasco Brands, they can give you some great janitorial products and services. If you ever do choose to go Vasco, make sure you tell them the Pioneers sent you. And oh boy, my voice is killing me for the rest of the night. That's payback for me getting overexcited. Now, 2-1. Here, going to be grounded hard to Phelps. Phelps picks it up, and he got him just back on the bag in time. Very close play. So that'll be another 1-2-3 inning, and I will say for Espinal, disappointing for him. It was definitely close enough where if the coach got a little bit upset and wanted a review, I wouldn't be too surprised if that had gotten overturned, but that'll end the 4th inning. Another 1-2-3. Champa doing really well as we enter the top of the 5th. Thanks again to Vasco Brands. So we're back here at Colburn Park. Bobby Marsh will lead off for your Elmira Pioneers. Marsh had a single and walk today. Here's the first pitch to Marsh. He's going to ground that hard, and Espinal, who is playing the shift, has to dive to get it, but he's not going to make the throw. Instead, he prevents that from any chance of extra bases. I will say, though, what a play on the dive to just grab it. It was definitely an impossible out, but still a good grab nonetheless, still showing a lot of effort in the field. It can be easy to just get lackadaisical, get dejected, in a tough losing situation like this, but Newark staying focused in the fight. And I know they're going to want to try to keep this deficit at a minimum. They never know at a moment's notice things could really change. That one gets away, and Marsh will actually stay at first. And we'll say maybe Pioneers not as aggressive in the base paths. No real reason to be. And that one just, unfortunately, I think, slipped from his hand. Obviously not intentional from Ignazak. I'm probably going to have to hear my colleagues say it a couple more times before I really get that down. 1-0 now. That one's high, ball 2. Gil Murad, he had a walk and ground out in his first 2 at-bats. He'd still like a hit here, but we do know how good he can be at getting on base, as his recent discipline has showed. He's now ahead 3-0. And that will be a 4-pitch walk for Gil Murad.
So with 2 runners on, it brings up the extra hitter, number 44, Jedi Vaughn.
J9 Vaughn's got 2 run, 1 in scoring position. And that would be huge for J9 if he could get some action going, driving in a few runs. And I will tell you, this season, Vaughn, he's only had 1 RBI all year. Only Zach Odom, with a higher average, has had less RBIs with a player that's actually hitting somewhat well for the Pioneers. Vaughn up. And outside, ball 1. Wonder if facing a righty might help him this time. He did have that walk, but also had a strikeout against O'Reilly early. Fouled away 1-2. And again, thank you for tuning into Pios Baseball tonight. Sure to join us in the 3rd and 4th for interleague play. 1-2 now to Vaughn. Vaughn gets under that, and that'll be caught in right field. Tagging up and coming back is Bobby Marsh. He's not going to go. Instead, he just wanted to keep the defense on their toes. Odom up now with 1 away. Odom was hit by a pitch last time. He scored on that Max Mantler error single. With 1 away, he's got 2 aboard in scoring position. Could he get his first RBI of the season? Mantler chops that one. It won't be an RBI. They're going to throw it to second. And no, wait, it will be. And actually, no, I don't think it'll count as an RBI because it is on an errant throw. Runners at the corners. It's a 10-0 Pio lead. And the Pios haven't scored 10 runs too often, but they now just have.
We go to the top of the order, the second baseman, number 23, Max Manson.
First and second. First and third.
And the Pios continue their dominance tonight. And I will say, sometimes it's not your night, sometimes it is. That one's going to be lined, and it is going to be called foul. Murad at third, Odom at first. That foul ball nearly hit into Odom. By the way, thank you, Arnett Health, the official healthcare provider for your Elmira Pioneers. They're this inning's sponsor, 0-1. That one's well inside. And that time, Mantler having to dance away. Last time he was up, he had 2 aboard, brought him home, and then brought himself home, running on an error in the outfield. Inside, ball 2. So Mantler, it won't be graded as a home run, unfortunately, but he technically can mark that down in his books as one, similar to the Auburn situation we had not too long ago. That one grounded to third, not fielded cleanly enough. Bases loaded, 1 away. And I think Morgan just maybe thinking of trying to get it to second too quickly on that play. Wayman will now get bases loaded and 1 away. Swing and a miss for Wayman, strike 1. Wayman had a big double back in the 4th inning. One that actually went off the wall. That was right after the near inside the Parker. From Wayman, he nearly responded with a home run of his own. 0-1 now to Wayman. Inside, ball 1. I think the bullpen is empty for Newark. And honestly, wouldn't be surprised if they just want Ignasak to go as long as he can physically go in a game like this. 1-1. Wayman chops that one away. It's a 1-2 count now. One, two. So Wayman, he's already improved his average somewhat tonight and definitely improved his on-base percentage. Can he improve it again in this at-bat? 1-2. The rain has stayed away. Even though there were some passing showers down south, they haven't hit Newark. He lines that one foul again. Wayman keeping alive. So, 1-2. There is one away. It is gotten a bit darker here. Sunset likely soon in Newark. That one's going to be chopped and caught in right field. Runner tags. The throw in will not be in time. It's a sacrifice, and another runner gets to third. It is now an 11-run lead for the Pioneers. Runners are now at the corners with 2 away. Cooper Smith up with this nice situation. And I will say, Steve Smith would absolutely love to see Cooper get that action going. Oldham at third, Mailer at first. Cooper Smith brings home an RBI. That one goes off the wall. I'm not sure. It could clear the bases. They are going to send him. And it'll clear the bases. A 2 RBI double for Cooper Smith, and the Pios continue to extend their lead.
Up next, the third baseman, number 28, Johnny Wall.
And the coach is talking with the pitcher. And just talking with him, I think just telling him to settle down, saying, listen, we are just playing for pride. You don't need to worry. I'm not mad at any performance you do. Your mission, just get 3 outs and keep getting 3 outs. And I think he's just trying to keep him down, keep him focused. It can be incredibly demoralizing in a game like this. But what he's got to remember is it's a long season. There will be some tough games. The Pios have had definitely their fair share. We just saw last night 11 runs come home for Geneva. Earlier, we saw 12 runs come home from Geneva. So, yeah, Geneva's definitely been a team that's had our number all year. Tonight, the Pios, however, they've come back.
Gotcha. Thank you.
So they've met again on the mound. If they do meet again, it'll be a change. But I know Steve Smith, even in a lopsided game like this, will be absolutely delighted to see Cooper Smith getting some RBIs here. He improves to 2 for 3 on the day with that double. And that brings up Johnny Wall. 2 for 2. Sorry. 2 for 3 with an RBI. 1-0 here to Johnny Wall. Wall fouls that one away. 1-1. And actually, I do need to update that graphic. It's a 13-run lead for the Pios. That one a pop-up and caught. So finally, the inning is over after that pop-up from Johnny Wall. The Pios get two hits, 2 errors, and 4 runs, with 1 left on base. The Pioneers still leading here. Bottom of the 5th coming up right after this.
Leading off from Queens, New York, the first baseman, number 24, Hazel Martinez.
Martinez will lead off here in the bottom of the 5th. Pioneers a huge lead. And of course, we'll just let you know that the PGCBL does run a run-ahead rule. And eventually we could see this game called early. I think that is something consensual for both teams if it's early. But I believe the standard procedure is after the 7th or in the 7th inning with a 10-run margin, the game can be called early. Other circumstances can see games called earlier too. I believe that happened with Jamestown. It might have happened in Watertown somehow too. That one's going to be lined to the outfield. And the no-no is broken to start the 5th. I was keeping quiet about it, but entering that inning,
First, that brings up from Boulder, Colorado.
it will end the no-hit dream for Tristan Champa. And with a shortened game like this, it very well could have been a no-hitter for Champa. What a sight that would have been. But 1 hit, and he's just got to get through these innings. Here's Given now with 1 on, no one out. Strike 1. And that is heartbreak for Champa. Apart from that 1 hit and a couple walks, he's nearly been perfect all day. 0-1. And 0-2 now. And now I have a feeling. And now I have a feeling that Champa, he might not be super happy about that hit. He's throwing those with some heat behind them. 0-2 to Given. And that one's low, 1-2. By the way, this inning sponsor, Texas Roadhouse, I decided to bring him up a half inning early. First Transit is the other sponsor, but if the game is shortened, I want to make sure we get through all our sponsors. By the way, Texas Roadhouse, sponsor for the Pioneers. Next time we're at Dunfield, be sure to see them. Swing and a miss, strike 3, 1 away.
Up next from Walden, New Jersey, the third baseman, number 19, Don Norman.
And kind of a shame that you couldn't make any argument on Odom having an error on that play either. But strikeout here for Champa. Now he's going to be facing Morgan with 1 away. Strike 1 there. Some more heat down the middle. And I will say, what a response from Champa. After 6 runs in 5 innings in Niagara, 1 hit in 5 innings so far, 4 1/3. That one, a little bit low, ball 1. The Pioneers, 13 is the second most runs they've scored all year. That was, of course, the 18-9 victory in that same Champa start. That one's going to be grounded. That's going to be picked up by Champa. No, he can't. So that'll be the second hit of the game.
2 men on. That brings up the left fielder from Toronto, Canada, number 25. Put your hands together for Matt Fabian.
Fabian steps up with 1 away and 2 aboard. That'll, I think, ease the no-hit woes a little bit as that second hit came home. And just a tough chopper. Good attempt there by Champa to field it. 1 away here, 2 aboard. One out and up high, ball 1. So Champa, he's got another little situation to work out of here. He's already got one out and a double play opportunity. We see the fielders for the Pios backing up a little bit in that double play depth. Fouled backward, 1-1. I will say this season for Fabian, looking to improve. Champa, he's going to definitely improve that ERA. Fabian, 1-1. Champa looking back at second. Now the 1-1. And 1-2 on that low outside corner. No sign up for Texas Roadhouse here in Colburn. When we're back in Dunfield, you'll see that again. If that hit from Wayman might have hit that sign back at Dunfield. Now 1-2. And strike 3 gets him looking. That is another strikeout for Champa.
Oklahoma. Behind the plate. Number 32. Gage Bowman.
Bowman up now with 2 away, 2 aboard. Bowman grounded out in his first at bat. But again, Champa, he's continued to keep them quiet, keep any run from getting on the board. Here's the first pitch with 2 away. Fouled back, 0-1. And that's the unlucky check foul where you check the swing, but you can't check it up and avoid the ball. So Bowman has a chance to really get some offense going and, give the fans something to cheer about here in Newark. Champa, the 0-1. Low, ball 1. One here for Champa. And 1-2. That one not low enough to be outside of the zone. And Bowman looking to keep the inning alive, looking to keep this position alive. 2 strikes, 2 outs. First time I actually get to use this. From the stretch, here's Champa. That one's popped up and foul. One, 2 here at Colburn Park, 8:50 p.m. Here's Champa. That one's going to be lined and fouled. So the at-bat keeps alive. Five strikeouts today for Champa. I believe that'll bring his total up to 33 on the season. He could find 34 here, a number that would get him right back onto the leaderboards. But obviously, he's going to be more satisfied in getting that win in the column. 1-2. Still looking for a sign. Gets it. High gets actually behind Murad, 2-2. Two. That one's going to be grounded up the middle, picked up by Phelps, and he's going to keep it to end the inning. And the entire dugout has come out, so I have a feeling that this might be the game. If I am right, which it looks like I am, the game is ended after 5 innings, thanks to the run-ahead rule.
That's the game, ladies and gentlemen, the final score, 13-0. Just a reminder, there is fireworks after the game. Stick around. Our next home game is against Watertown Rapids on July 4th, followed by the 5th for Geneva Red Wings. Thanks and have a great night.
So with that, the Pioneers a big victory tonight in Newark. And for Champa, it's painful. He was just 2 unfortunate plays away from a no-hitter. But still, he gets the first official complete game for the Elmira Pioneers all season as the Pioneers take home a 13-0 victory. And a beautiful night here in Newark will end just a little bit early. Pioneers will now improve and get their 10th victory of the campaign. And unfortunately for Newark, they'll fall one more loss to 8-13. Another win for Champa, and I'd say just a tough defeat from Riley. Shortest game of the year, I think, for the Pioneers, just a little under 2 hours. And we will be back on June 3rd with an interleague game as well on July 4th. Make sure you stay tuned June 3rd. I'm just going to use this opportunity to pack up early. I won't show you the fireworks because we've got some fireworks back at Dunn Field next time that you'll be able to see. I'm Taylor Storthy. Thanks again for watching. Hope you have a great night, and we'll be back next time with more Pios baseball. The Pios win.